Okay, welcome to Fahrenheit Performance Podcast, episode number 15. Today is PTO race week, so what better person to come in than Alaric, the mechanic. He's known for his work at the PTO, full-time bike mechanic to the stars. Yeah. When I first started this podcast, I had two different types of episodes. I have the medical episode where we talk about health and well-being and stuff, and then I have the personality episodes where I talk about person. And you're definitely one of the personalities, right? And not everyone knows who you are because they see you often, but you work a lot of bikes, you know a lot of people. So why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, Alaric?
Okay, so my name is Alaric. I'm 26 this year, and supposedly I'm a full-time mechanic in bicycles. Right now, I'm actually serving my national service for 2 years.
That's why it's been so hard to get you on board. So today's a public holiday, so you're not officially at NS.
Yeah.
We've been trying to do this for a while now.
Yeah.
But you're only available like Sunday nights or Friday evenings or something. It just never worked out. But today, public holiday, we're here, the clinic's empty. You can do this.
Yeah, and on top of that is PTO race weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, my job, or I would say my role, is to ensure the PTO mechanics kind of have a smooth transition in the Singapore league and all the athletes are on the start line safely.
So PTO has some traveling mechanics and then they have some local mechanics.
So it depends on the league itself. So every year PTO have two neutral mechanics running with them, Anthony as well as this year we have Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So Anthony works for a events project management company,
okay,
but he's also a mechanic.
Yep.
And for Mike, he's actually with Pro Team Uno X.
Nice.
And
we're everything this year, right?
Yeah, so it's a World Tour team. He was with Great Britain for a bit, as well as Trek Segafredo.
Oh, nice.
And basically,
real deal.
Yeah, so I get to work with all these magnificent people with lots of experience, and it's something new for me, learning as a race mechanic.
I think it's new for anybody in Singapore. The PTO just brought in some superstars from triathlon, like just the actual athletes themselves, and the whole let's say circus that goes with it, right?
So fun fact, prior to this, I think the World Triathlon Association was trying to shut them down, not let them have races, because the normal original long distance race was Ironman.
Yeah,
that was the trend, the OG of long distance. And then PTO came, and nobody expected them to take off. But then they suddenly came up with huge prize money, a lot of massive pros taking part. Yeah. And then, the World Triathlon Organization, I would say, saw something different.
Yeah.
And right now they're working together. Yeah. And that's why PTO, which is the company itself, rebranded it and called T100.
Yeah, because 100, it's like 2 kilometers swim.
Yeah.
That's at 80 and 18 kilometer run.
Yeah.
So then, and with that big prize money and everything, all the infrastructure that goes with it also has to be big as well, right?
Yeah, it's got to be massive. And I would say Singapore is very lucky to have a event like this, because we don't get many race events in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to actually swim in Marina Bay is special.
Well, that's the only event ever to be able to. Last year's event was the first, and then this year they're doing it again.
Yeah.
Let's rewind back a little bit. I guess I first met you 2017-ish, when I had it. I was a guest speaker at Bike School Asia, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you were one of the students.
Yep.
Back then, you were an intern at Rolls-Royce.
Yep. How
did you go from intern at Rolls-Royce to full-time bike mechanic now?
So, there's a bit of background. So back in secondary school, I didn't like to study.
Mm-hmm.
I like to play a lot. Eventually, I kind of retained secondary three.
Yep.
Back then, didn't know what I want to do. Picked up cycling as a hobby.
Yep.
Just for fun with friends. Yep. Fun fact.
Were you one of those fixie kids that was riding along? Or?
Oh, no. It's basically just to cycle for fun, relax, sleep off school. And back then, I was just riding on a single speed bike that has market bikes with baskets and all that other whatnot. And a hobby turned something serious. Back in IT, I got my first road bike, which is a polygon.
Yep.
Everyone has polygons.
Yep.
And picked up trying to work on bikes. And back then, wanted to join the cycling industry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And a mechanic from bike school.
Yep.
And he offered an opportunity that I could not say no.
Yep.
And then I decided, is this something that I really want?
Yep.
So, played around with it. Kind of got the right people with the right influence.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met Chris, who was willing to offer an opportunity to work in his shop, bike school.
So the two names you mentioned there, one was Kenneth Wee
Yep.
from Bike School Asia, who basically trains with bike mechanics,
Yes.
right? And then the other one is Chris Yap from
Bike
School Company. So he has a bike shop,
Yeah.
right? And currently you work at his bike shop, is it correct?
I'm
hard right it is, right? Yeah. But if you weren't in this, you would be working in this shop.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you went with Kenneth, learned how to be a mechanic. Chris gave you a shop, gave you an opportunity to do that.
Correct. So I got the right opportunities as a race mechanic, and I got the right opportunities to go as a shop mechanic.
Mm.
So using this both, I kind of grew.
Mm.
And right now I'm helping Chris to manage the shop.
Okay.
And at the same time, still attend for all these events like T100,
Yeah.
Tour de Bintan, and that's where I also met you.
Yeah.
Tour
Definitely.
de Bintan.
After that crazy rainy day and all,
Yeah.
all the bikes were coming.
Yeah, where all the athletes were going down and have broken bikes, and it's
So, what's a typical day in the bike shop to do for you?
okay. So for different mechanics, there's different ways. For our shop, we open late. We open at 12:30, and we close around 7:30. That is for Mondays to Fridays. For Saturdays, usually we open at 10. We close at 4.
Okay.
And then Sundays, we will say we go right.
Yep.
But
Typical customer, is it like a service?
yeah, so mainly servicing. We are still trying to push brands like our own brands like Argon, Making, Vision, and a few of the I would say unique race brands that we have. Ultimately, most of the customers now are all servicing based as well as repair basis. So I work with a lot of national athletes from triathlon and cycling, and that's where most of them are coming to the shop for my help. And we do have our own local based customers that knows that we are here, we are supporting. I wouldn't say we are a very big shop compared to people like Technology, Rodale, and all the big shop names. I would say we are a unique shop that don't turn anyone away.
Yeah. Whereabouts is it?
We are located at 170 Yio Chu Kang Road.
Okay. And then, so during COVID, you must have seen a huge uptick in service.
Yes. So during COVID, I would say the market grew more than 100%.
Yeah.
In fact, we were selling things that don't seem to sell.
Yep.
And we were facing stock issues.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. I mean, you yourself as a bike fitter, you probably see a rise in bike fitting and all that and whatnot. So ultimately,
But then now it's actually quite quiet for you, right?
yes, in a way, the market took quite a hit.
Yeah.
But we still have customers as well as regulars coming in, and there will be people that kind of recommend each other, couple
Word of mouth.
and through these events, I would say these events brings me to meet a lot of new people that I've never seen.
Yeah.
And it's just because they like cycling so much
Yeah.
that we kind of cross paths. And
Cycling is a very expensive sport, but apart from the expense, there's quite a big variation of personalities, right?
Yeah.
Someone could be a fashion designer on one side and the engineer on the other side and everything in between, right? You just by virtue of the fact that you service all bikes, you see all these different types of personalities,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
definitely, I mean, I've seen all kinds of customers.
Yeah.
People coming in just for a minor adjustment to those that before I started about I want to spend the other spend. So naturally I will see all kinds of
Yes. So what's your favorite type of bike? Like what the biker comes in and you go, yes, this is going to be a straightforward job. It's good to work with.
I would say the new generation of group sets from Shimano, Charles.
Yep.
Where is that?
When they have no wire. There's wires at the front.
Where there's no wires at the front. And I would say a generation before of this brake era. Because the cables run outwards, which makes it easier to do servicing and swap bearings as well as adjusting handlebars.
Because everything is integrated, right?
Yeah.
So that's quite similar to me. But not that I hate. My favorite sort of bike fit these days is a triathlon. Yeah. Because integrated handlebars on a road bike, there's only so much you can do. Yeah. But for triathlon, you can go up, down, left, right, forward and back and everything, right? So for an integrated handlebar, you can't change the stand, you can't change the width.
Yep.
If you need to change the height of it, or if you change the handlebar, you need to rebleed the whole brakes.
Yeah, essentially it's a change of hydraulic hose.
Yeah.
You know, if you're on tram, maybe it's a good job. It's probably gonna be a full day or 2 days job where they strip the bike down fully, replace the handlebar, the headset, and then put in new cables, rebleed, check whether there's any indication in the system, this and that. But if you're using the old frames where it's external routing, it's just removing the hose from the bar, and then putting the new bar and hose and rebleed, a minor rebleed, I would say.
Because let's just use this example. My headset is creaking or it's a bit grime, so it feels sandy. On an old bike, that's just a couple of hours worth of work, right?
Yeah.
Maybe $100, let's just say. Right? Correct. On a new bike, you need to cut the hose, put a new hose in, rebleed it. Is it twice the price?
Yeah, but it's twice the price, twice the number of hours, and the most important part is you need to make sure that the hoses are not intertwined.
Yeah. Because
the last thing you want is for the hose to rattle in your frame, hitting your frame whenever you turn. That can be quite irritating.
And it sucks that you're cutting a perfectly good hose that's working perfectly well because you have to change it. It's not guaranteed that it's going to work perfectly the next time, right? So
and okay, with the new integrated bars, don't mind me saying, there are parts where your hose goes almost 90 degrees. And if air bubbles are stuck there, you basically have to tilt the bike up, down, left, right. You know, it
vibrated to get the ball out or something.
To get the air bubble.
Lord forbid you're using a wire, you're using a cable, you can to make that turn.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So then, what's your least favorite bike? Right. I bet you it's specialized.
Yeah.
Right? First generation bench.
Yes, the first generation bikes and the track Madone, which has that flat and...
What makes that so difficult?
Okay, so for the first generation bench, it's basically I would say almost a 95 degrees curve
on the cable
into the frame.
Yep.
And then down to the frame, there's another curve, and there's another 90 degrees turn.
So when someone walks into the shop for the first generation bench, you go, hope he's not here for a second.
Yeah, not only that, you'll probably be thinking like, okay, maybe this guy can give me 3 days.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, each kink on the cables, it gives you a weird position of the cable. So as you press the brake lever, the cable may actuate, it may not go back.
Yeah, I had that problem with an whole steel bike like that. I'll pull the brakes, it'll brake, but then it wouldn't snap back.
Yeah. So that's the issue with the first generation bench.
Yeah.
As for the track Madone, it's because of the flaps.
Yeah.
And the braking wires that's running in the frame. It's too much sharp angle.
Yeah.
And again, it'll be still at the bench where you pull the cable.
Yep.
And come bounce it back.
Yeah. But sure, I understand that completely. I have a bike like that. But so just working in the shop, right? That's one side of your mechanic hat.
Yeah.
But I see you everywhere. I see you at triathlons in the tent. I see you at Bingtown. I see you at 70.3. I see you at PTO. How did you get involved? How did you get involved in it? Like if I were a bike mechanic and I want to break into that market, What were the first steps?
So back then, I was lucky enough back in 2017, I got picked up by Kenneth as a mechanic, as a student. So he taught me the basics as well as the advance of what a mechanic should be, and the means of your skill set. But in return, instead of paying him for teaching, I volunteer my time to all these events with him as a mechanic. So
because that tent that's always there,
Yeah.
that's a bike school Asia tent.
yeah,
Right?
so I was lucky enough that Kenneth gave me the opportunity to kind of learn what I have in the classroom and put it to physical use. That is something that not many shops were willing to give for someone who has never actually worked on a bike before. And I was lucky, Kenneth got me on for all these events, and I had the right opportunities, and I got invited to international teams, from small teams all the way to big.
So now that you've been seen at these little events,
Yep.
this like the Singapore national team you work with as well, right?
Yep.
So you just put your head up and say, hey, I've done that sort of field coverage before, let me come and do it. And then another team will find out that you're the one that's there, and then you're going, right?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So on top of that, athletes jump from team to team. So naturally, if they have seen you working with them and they're comfortable with it, usually they will tell the managers or the director sportive, like, this is the guy I'm comfortable with. Can we get him on?
You hear this sort of stories all the time. Like Sagan moves from team to team, he brings specialised within, he brings physiotherapists, he brings his manager, and then maybe even mechanics, right?
Yeah, so Sagan has his one specific mechanic.
He does?
Yeah.
I just found that out of that.
Yeah, so happened so that one of the years I was traveling, the mechanic followed me on Instagram.
Yep.
And I saw, he's been traveling with Sagan for a long time. And yeah, that's how I got to know that mechanics do jump from team to team with certain athletes.
Yeah.
And I was lucky. I got picked up by Mass Leinster International. Back then, Mass Leinster was a international team that raced in Belgium, Lotto Cups, and they come to Asia for tours.
Yep. Like Jordan Howie, for example, something like that.
So specifically more towards the women's tours.
Yep.
So I've been to like Pandorama, Guizhou, some of the tours in China, in Vietnam.
Instead of flying a mechanic all the way from Belgium to you say, hey, Alaric's just down the road.
Yeah.
And just pop up, right?
Correct. So that's one of the reasons I got lucky. I got to go to Vietnam for Biwaseka, that the national team just came back from.
Yep.
It was a painful 10 days. And then
Actually, all that the Basic Cup is very
it's very, very aggressive. You have all kinds of riders coming in to compete for 10 days. And I've been to some tours in China, and the recent one, which I hold quite close to my heart, would be the SEA Games 2021 and 2023.
You've been there as well.
So I've been there to support the triathlon team.
Yep.
I would say I'm appreciative for the opportunity, because it's not every day that you get to represent Singapore.
Yep.
And I think that is something that I want to see in more of the youth.
Yep.
Being your athlete or your support staff, ultimately at the end of the day, you could do your part to kind of get a major team success.
Yeah, whatever small brick it is in the wall, it all contributes, right?
Yeah. And of course, people will bring it back down to, who is actually paying for all of this?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get paid, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
For me, I weigh the experience and the opportunity more important than whatever I'm doing now.
Sometimes these things you might not get paid, but you happen to open a door at that event, which opens a bigger door, which you do get paid for, right?
Correct. So for example, me working with Kenneth, I don't get paid per se. I do get like a small allowance wherever I go travel or whatever. And this opened a different door. It opens to the international world. It opened me like the T100 race that is in town. They get me on board in their team, and this opens you up to a different.
Yeah, and you would never have got that opportunity if you hadn't done.
With Kenneth.
If you'd stayed in the mom and pop bike shop, somewhere in the corner, you could make a little more money for that day that you're at the race, but you would never get the opportunity. Right?
Yeah, so that's the thing. You kind of want to weigh what you want to do. For me, being a shop mechanic is something that I definitely don't want to be stuck in. I want to go out and see the world.
But that's like coming home, right?
Yeah.
Coming home, the shop's still there.
Yes.
Everything's still there. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
But then going to those places like going on holiday every once in a while, right?
Yes. And on top of that, you get to meet different people from different backgrounds.
Yes.
You have athletes that are doctors. You have athletes that are business people that studies engineering, design, this and that. But when all these athletes come together, there's only one thing that everyone is competitive.
Cross the finish line first.
Yeah, whoever cross the finish
Doesn't matter if you're a fashion designer or engineer, you cross the finish line first.
So ultimately, it's the thing of the sport that gets everyone together. I would say money at this point in time when I'm 36, it's something that I could kind of let go a bit more. I would say I'm fortunate because I have parents that are supportive.
Yep.
But if I have parents that are supportive, that
But they've always been supportive. When you finished poly and said, I'm going to become a biomechanic, this is what I want to do, were they, yes, let's go? Or were they like, we still be an engineer and, or you should do whatever.
Yeah, so fun fact, this is a conversation I had recently with my mom. So my mom brought up that back then when I told her like, oh, I'm going to be a race mechanic, a pro race mechanic, you know.
Did she ask how to pay the bills or
Yeah, so that's one of the things that they brought it up. And on top of that, in the back of her head, she was like thinking, how am I going to face my friends?
Who's going to marry the public with it?
Yeah. So fun fact, I have a girlfriend for 11 years. Yeah, I was secondary school to now.
Yeah.
And she's supportive.
Good.
Yeah. The amount of athletes, the amount of time, and sometimes being away on tour. The longest I've been away was 21 days. And that was 3 races back to back in China.
Wow.
It was painful because you have to leave family. And at the point of time, I was 18, 19 years old. And my relatives were like thinking, which parents was crazy enough to let an 18, 19-year-old travel overseas
In China.
China for 3 weeks with people he has never met before. You know? So, I mean, I was really happy that I got to experience that 3 week with literally international people that are pro athletes. And I'm still in contact with them every now and then.
So your parents are supportive of what you do?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, I believe that sports needs to be supported. If you're the one running the show, there has to be someone at the back supporting.
Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone can be a doctor, lawyer, right? Like, there's different jobs for everybody.
So when you met me, the idea was to take this as a hobby, become a aerospace engineer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I remember that. If I had asked you back then,
Yeah.
what are you going to do with your life? You would be an aerospace engineer, right?
But-
I think you did tell me that.
Yeah, so fast forward 2017 till now, it's been like almost 9 years.
7 years, yeah.
And kind of doing cycling as a
Full-time job.
full-time job.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought something that was a hobby turned into something serious and something that I never expected. And I'm grateful for the people that were here. You know, people like Kenneth, Chris. They were the first few that gave me the opportunity to actually step up.
And it's not just the opportunity. You need to take the opportunity, make the most of the opportunity, and be able to make the next step for the next opportunity, right? Like, you can take the opportunity, if you just waste it, then you just slide back down the hill, right?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So back then when I was taking opportunities and kind of, in a way, trying to show to people that I can do it, I'm pretty sure a lot of athletes saw that I was so passionate of being up, working on the bike, making sure that everyone's fun. And as a result, I got invited to teams. And that's something that I think all people who kind of inspired to want to do this, just don't be scared.
Just
try.
It's like the episode 1 of the podcast.
Yeah.
If I was too scared to do that first episode, I'd still be sitting here not with episode 0, right? Yeah, and you need to do the first one, you need to do the second one, you have to take steps, learn a little bit along the way. Each one hopefully gets a little bit better, right? So then today, or this week, is PTO week, and you were the PTO man, right, for Singapore. I just remember last year, I watched the Pro Women. I went to the expo, I watched the Pro Women. Then I went back the next day and I supported my friends that were doing the amateur race.
Yeah.
Right? Then I went home, I didn't watch the Pro Women for some reason, and then I turned on the TV and I see you running down, I see the back of you running in the pits or transition zone, right in the transition zone, wheeling your head or something.
Yeah.
And all the cameras on you.
Yeah.
Something was wrong with something Sam Lowell's bike.
Yeah.
What's the story with it? What happened?
So, Sam, if I'm correct, Sam had a puncture in quite far away. And back then, the transition area didn't have a live telecast. And we totally do not know who is coming in.
Yeah.
All we knew is it was a full flat puncture.
Yeah.
And
so he rode a flat wheel into the pits. It was like 8 laps, right? So one of the laps he just rode it.
So, correct. So, when we went there and we tried to inflate or seal, I would say seal the
tubeless.
The tubeless. So that's the issue with tubeless wheels. The moment you get a flat, it's due to leakage or a big cut.
As it's a small cut, it will seal itself.
Yeah.
So it must.
So unfortunately, it was a big cut, and he was riding on Corsa speeds, and Corsa speed, unfortunately, is quite thin compared to all the other tires.
Well, marginal gains, right? It's fully like 5.
Yeah, like that. You probably shave off like 5 watts per the tire or some shit.
Nice.
So he had a cut, and it was almost 1.5 mm wide.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a
wide, not long.
No, wide.
Okay.
And it was a full cut through.
Yeah.
You can literally see your fingers if you were to, pop a tube on them and all the other whatnot. So at the point of time, we didn't think too much. We just tried to kind of salvage his race. So we try and pump the Vitor pit stops, sealant, and we're lucky we brought inflatable, portable air guns.
Okay.
Those air pumps. And try and pump it up. So it's sealed for a while, and unfortunately, because the tire, the cut was too wide, and it's a full cut through.
Yeah.
His wrist was gone.
Yeah. Can you change the back? Did you change the back wheel, or is it?
So the issue that neutral mechanics have is an issue with spare wheels.
Yeah.
So in a triathlon race, usually you are supposed to bring your own spare wheels and leave it
in the transitions.
In the transitions, or just in case. And I would say T100 is different from Ironman, where Ironman you have to do your own repair. You can't rely on external help. While T100 is basically full gas. It's like out of Super League Tribe, but in the Ironman version.
Yeah. Half Ironman distance.
Yeah. So it's quite fun.
Yeah.
But
did he get it back on the road?
So he got back out of the road, and then it got worse.
Okay.
So eventually he stopped.
Yeah. So he's out.
So
cameras are all on you, right?
Yeah.
So working in a bike shop, doing your own sweet thing, taking your own sweet time, fixing your own sweet wheels is not for say hard.
Yeah.
But when it's live TV on you try to do something, what can you tell me about how that felt?
So for race mechanic wise, especially you have the opportunity to be on live television. The pressure is always there. It's how you kind of put that aside and focus on what needs to be sondered or repaired. Fun fact, prior to this, we actually spoke to the cameramans, not to, video us if, let's say, anyone would...
Come on, they're not going to do that. They don't know what's best for the show.
Yeah, and the fun fact is, Anthony was doing a interview, a live race interview on the sideline.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Where was I? One getting interviewed and then I saw you guys run past, and then they just moved the event.
Yeah, so suddenly... we're on the race radio, meaning someone has a puncture. It's a full-on flat. It's coming into the pits. And
so you don't know who it is, what tire it is, what...
No, we have no idea. So that was the issue that happened.
Lucky draw.
So we were hoping that it wasn't one of the leaders, which can affect a race, right? I mean, so it's like what you saw in the women's race.
Yes, and Renata Harb got the inner tube or something stuck in the...
And had TPU tube that went into a real wheel.
Yep.
And people are saying that it's debris from the...
Yeah, but Singapore happened to be debris.
Yeah.
So that big, no way.
Yeah.
As soon as she unwound it and tucked it into her jersey pocket, I knew it was physical equipment.
So that kind of mechanical do affect the need of the race.
Yes.
That's why you saw Ashley won in plastic.
Yep. She just ran away with it, literally. Right.
Yeah. So back to the topic when cameras are pointing on it depends on how your body mechanism reacts to it.
Mm.
For me, I never like being in front of the camera. Even though people say I'm a natural in front of cameras, but I never like being video taken, photo taken. I'm always behind the camera.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. Yeah, the man that supports the national team, but does not want to be named. And I kind of like that because it gives me a bit more freedom to kind of express my true self.
Yeah.
And again, I would say I'm not the most liked person in the industry. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Nothing to throw shit about, but yeah, basically that there are times that you make decisions and it can be bad decisions, but you learn from it.
Yeah.
So me being here today does not say that I have a very successful kind of few years throughout as a race mechanic. I learned from mistakes. I made stupid mistakes, things that people can never thought of. I made it before, but it's how you learn from it.
But you're T100 this year, so you mustn't have screwed it up so badly. They invited you back, so
so
something's working out for you.
I'm really grateful. Like I know Anthony last year, and we have been keeping in contact, even though we don't see each other. And it's only been like slightly over 6 months since they were here.
Oh yeah, it was late last year.
It was late last year.
World Champs sign.
Yeah, and last year Singapore was the grand final among the last league, and this year we are the second league of the season. And I would say it's better because our weather is hotter, and then I would say it's gonna be carnage.
It's a tough course, right? Yeah, Singapore's flat, but you just put in the big 6-story building bridge there, and you got to climb it.
Yeah, and the water is not salt water; it's fresh water.
And well,
it's gonna be super warm. Last we checked the water, today it was about 32.5 degrees.
Wow!
So it was super.
That's the same as the air temperature.
Yeah, and being fresh water means you're slower,
not as buoyant.
Yeah,
and no wetsuits allowed.
And on top of that, the bike rig is not a pan flat bike rig. I would say it's a full-on power and technical cost.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of 90-degree turns.
I'm surprised in these races how spread out they get. You think that all the elite athletes they're so well placed and they're so competitive, but there's gaps of minutes because of I guess it's for the bike leg mostly.
Yeah, and I think ultimately it goes down to the running. If you can get like 1 or 2 minutes on the bike leg, but if you can't run or your legs don't work on the run leg, that minutes will just close up and there goes your race. Yeah. So, fun fact, triathlon is like a second sport that I picked up as a mechanic. Yeah. I have no idea how to swim. I'm shitty on the run. And I'm not very good on cycling, but I like cycling.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I picked up triathlon because I was in a triathlon event. And I'm like, who the hell is crazy enough to swim, cycle, and run?
Especially Ironman. Yeah, you cycle for 180 kilometers.
Yes.
It's not just it's just short 20, 30 kilometers.
But I worked with, I would say, I kind of understand how brutal not only cycling is, but at both cycling and triathlon is. It's a very brutal sport because I have seen close friends who are national triathletes suffer so badly. And it's not even the perfect race that they do.
Yeah.
But I always believe that it's a bad day.
All stars really got to align for these things these days.
Yeah, I would say your luck and your stars have to align.
So right now, before you came in today, you were in Marina Sands somewhere fixing pro bikes.
Yeah, so I was in the race hotel that all the athletes are staying.
So pro bikes supposed to be, say, as our bikes that we buy at the shop. How are they different from a regular bike?
Okay, so for the pro bikes per se, it depends on whether it's a factory issue or whether it's a consumer-based issue. I would say usually factory issue.
Well, they have to be able to be used in these events. They have to be available to the public.
Yeah, so it boils back down to probably this specific frame is custom painted, and they have to submit an application to say it's for this specific athlete for triathlon. But if let's say it's on a cycling team per se, it's basically the same frame, same compliance. It probably is just the parts that are different.
Okay.
So things like your integrated cockpit thing, sometimes it can be slightly longer, more aggressive. Again, it's something that the consumers can buy for sure. It's how much they are willing to spend.
So for T100, it's a triathlon. Triathlons are notorious for having custom one-piece 3D printed aero bars. Right? Do they have any down in Marina Bay?
Yeah, so I would say almost one quarter or one third.
Are they harder to work on? Or is it inside, it's just the same?
For sure, for this one piece, it's all custom. You can't expect all the one piece to be the same. So naturally, with the different type of molding and all that whatnot, fishing cables, especially when they are DI tools. Fun fact, 12-speed DI tools are not wireless.
Triathlon.
In
China, that I know.
So I was just working on an athlete's bike where we have to do all kinds of routings to the base bar as well as the aero bars. So I would say it's easier nowadays, but it's still difficult because sometimes it's like fishing. You have to fish from...
Hopefully it comes up.
Yeah, it's correct. But nowadays with the newer bars and the way that you mold the bar, it's slightly easier because the holes inside are wider.
They probably... they've learned this for the past and they design it better now, right?
And
how about the like, you set up a bike, let's just pull our old name. Let's just say you set up Chris McCormick's bike. He's not racing anymore, but easy to pull it anymore. And you set it up exactly how it's supposed to be on the specs that they gave. Do they runners ever come to you and say, hey, this bike feels like shit, what have you done? Why are the handlebars so high? Like, even though it seems to be set up correctly.
So, fun fact, yes, there are athletes that sometimes you give them down to a measurement, but they still feel good on the bike. And honestly, I don't blame them.
And it's hard you can't say no to them because this is their livelihood, right? So if they don't feel good on the bike, they're not going to do well, for example.
And whatever you do, it affects the athletes themselves, the surroundings. And they are literally racing for money. Hundreds and thousands of dollars on the line. So actually, they will say, hey, do you have a measuring tape that I could load? And they will just measure their mm, their CMs and their measurements and all the other whatnots. And there's funny ways of measuring it.
I was seeing, I saw somebody measuring from the tip of the hood to the front axle. And that's something, as a bike fit measurement, I would never give someone that measurement. But for all their bikes, it's exactly the same. It's as long as that number fits, it's good, right?
And I do agree with some athletes. So sometimes some athletes are really, they can feel the difference down to the millimeter, and if they feel it's off, it's off.
And if it's not off, it's still off, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's like this, and some of them, they just prefer that feeling of riding. And I don't blame them because ultimately it's what makes you comfortable. It's
the psychological thing as well is that if they're psyched out because the bike is a bit weird, the chances are they're not going to race as well as they could. If they're in the flow state and they think that this bike is fantastic right now, they'll ride better, right?
And I think the fun part would be because some of them are so pressured on race days, and they are getting to the start line. This kind of stuff plays a big game in their role. And as a result, having a mechanic that you work very closely with, you can rely on them.
It's a trust issue, right?
Yeah, you can have that full trust, and you basically kind of relax, and we can go through your...
There's so many things to worry about. Just get rid of one thing in race one, and it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I love working with some of the national athletes. Because some of them are straightforward, no BS, and they are straight to the point of it. They don't try and sugarcoat. They don't try to say, oh, it's okay, this and that. If you make a mistake, they are upfront and they tell it to you.
Yeah.
That's something that is good.
Yep.
And you learn from all these small little mistakes, and that's what's improved your way of doing things. It's never easy, I would say.
So I guess to wrap up soon, but I've got a couple more questions for you. Pro mechanics in the pro peloton, for example, right? I've heard stories about people who think that the pro mechanics are actually one-dimensional, but two-dimensional, because let's just say you work for Ineos, you only work for Pinarello bikes, and you've only worked for Pinarello bikes for 8 years. So you only know those other bikes. What's your opinion on that? Like, if you work at your bike shop, you probably see 100 different types of bikes every week, right? So
my take on this would be, everyone is so fixated that a pro mechanic is a pro mechanic.
Yeah.
But they don't understand, or they don't know where these mechanics come from.
Yeah.
And to be a pro mechanic, for example, for Ineos, you need to be a mechanic for many other junior teams or lower division racing teams before even hitting like a Team Ineos mechanic.
Or even a pro Conti league.
Yeah,
right?
correct. So for example, Mike is a Uno X pro mechanic this week, and he's with us for T100, which I'm super stoked and happy to have him, because he literally tells me all the stuff that is going on in a pro peloton. What stuff that we can use, what stuff that is not good. And basically kind of updates you what's going on in the racing scene. And he himself worked on many different brands of bikes. He was helping out in Great Britain's Olympics team with Trek, and basically he works with Trek Segafredo before that, and many other teams before that. So I wouldn't say that a pro mechanic is a one-dimensional thing, because prior to this, not all teams has a one bike sponsor. There can be a team that have a mixture of bikes. From Loop, from Argon, from Cervelo.
Is that your end game? Do you would, if I say, Alaric, what is your dream job right now? Are you going to say pro mechanic at a pro peloton, or are you going to say follow T100 around the world, or is that what you want to do?
I would say, why not? Ultimately at the end of the day, to get that experience, to get that opportunity, it proves something. It shows that there are people that can make it. And if it's not for national service now, I'll probably take a year off in Singapore and go into the Europe to be with a team for 1 year. I think that would really show whether you make it or break it. And if you don't make it, you come back. It kind of show that.
So I think even if you didn't make it, the experience that it's fantastic.
It's fun. You get to understand and work with different people, understand how the whole pro peloton is working, and that adrenaline is different. So having to work with the national team give me a lot of insights. I really have to thank the Triathlon Federation and the Singapore Cycling Federation. They gave me some of the opportunities that I could never have. Mark called me up last year and I was like, do you want to go to Korea with us for a tour, with the juniors? And that opened up a different race in Asia for me. It gave me a bigger view of what is actually going on for races.
Also, if you play your cards right, you can be the pro mechanic for these teams for many years. But if you were a racer on the team, there's only a finite number of years that you could actually do it, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, unfortunately for us Singaporeans, we have NS, we have this and that, and we have to stop at some point in time. I would say Mark and Shane in Cycling Federation right now is doing an amazing job behind to kind of prepare the guys for national service, and at the same time minimize the transition and the destruction. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you have kids that are 18, 19 years old, and listen, those 2 years are very important. However, for Singapore, to avoid NS is impossible. And I wouldn't say to avoid NS. I'm very happy that I got like the week off, to take the leave.
Yep.
You know, my unit were kind enough to approve my leave to help T100.
Yep.
And at the same time, I hope that moving forward, MINDEF kind of come up with a proper framework that if you are a national athlete, at least you try to have a minimal disruption.
Well, my personal opinion is being a national athlete is serving your country.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously it's not the same as a soldier, but it is, you are serving your country, representing our country in some way.
And you are giving like 110% every time, you know. That's one of the reasons why I don't draw a full salary when I'm helping out the national teams. They do give me allowance, which I'm grateful for. You know. Every time in travel, it's income loss, it's monetary loss. There's nothing that is, you know, with earn. And there are people who wants to be with the national team, so just so that they can travel and earn a living.
But say that they've been in the national team, right?
So for me, it's more of the passion that makes the talk.
Yeah.
I want to be in a system or in a project that actually helps an athlete and at the same time kind of, I wouldn't say fully earn from it, but probably just make ends meet would be nice also. But as someone who always likes to support the national team, I always say, if you are helping out your national team, you are serving the country, and even though that you are not standing on a podium, somewhere, you're part of something successful, you know. And that's something I wish I could see more younger athletes do. You know, we do have people like Bryce winning the SEA Games in Barcelona. It's really something proud to be having to see someone stand on a podium representing the flag. Then it's very unique, I would say.
Okay, 2 questions before we wrap up. One, as a mechanic, what are the top 5 go-to items that you need? Top range, maybe.
Okay, so I always say it's right.
If you could pack 5 things in a suitcase right now to go to somewhere, what would you pack for?
I would pack the combined Allen key set and top keys.
Okay.
You know, Silka and Rira has it.
I have a Silka set right there.
Yeah. So those are very, very good. And then I'll pack a top wrench. And then I'll pack an adjustable spine.
Okay.
And then your bottom bracket too.
Okay.
And lastly, our lubricants.
Okay. How about what's your go-to pump system these days? Do you use a standard foot pump with a dial, or do you actually have a? We
do have the electric ones.
Yeah.
Those Makita is the brand to go to lah.
Okay.
They do all kinds of inflatables and fun fact, there's a mini air compressor now in the Pro Mechanic hotel.
Is that how they do it?
Because we don't have a choice, because right now with tubeless, right? Yeah. Some tires struggle to sit into the beat of the wheel, and with the hookless technologies and all that other what.
Oh, that's a whole there's no hookless. That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, hookless the chill. But also basically, I would say we need a portable air compressor. And
an impact guard, I guess, for the Allen keys.
Yeah. So I would say nowadays brands are better. Yeah. Brands have this kind of quick release through axle, but of course, athletes tend to pull them out on race days, and mechanics will just get the impact guiders with the proper beats, and you can use it for example when you are on tour.
Yep.
But when you are being a neutral support, it's slightly difficult to use them because some true axles comes with size 5, size 6, and it's just you can't.
They don't want to just have 2 holster like 2 guns.
Yeah, so before right now, so it's 3 in the midst of trying to figure a way out on probably because I'm in national service, right? Yeah. And I saw how we have this utility band. Yeah. So I was thinking maybe
I the Disney shows up with a little Velcro.
Yeah. So maybe I could do a utility vest that actually gives me
like a photographer vest. I always wear those vests with all the pockets, right?
Yeah. So I think that's.
Okay, last question. What is your advice to someone, let's say there's a 17-year-old boy or girl that wants to be a bike mechanic to the stars? What do you recommend that they do or they don't do?
I wouldn't say don't do it. I would say do it.
No, what mistakes have you made, or what advice do you give them?
Okay, so for do's, I would say firstly, look for Canada, Bike to Asia.
Okay.
Get yourself certified. That's the first step into trying to go for it.
And then you don't make so many mistakes.
Yeah.
Not so much trial and error. It's teaching you how to do it, right?
Right. And Kenneth is such an experienced coach, and with so many students under his belt, students will actually kick back and tell him what needs to be improved in his lesson model.
Nice. Yeah.
So on top of that, the moment you get certified, try and go for events, volunteer for events. Really raise our hand and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Having that opportunity with anyone that does events is great.
Yep.
That kind of like what we say, open up to the next store, to the next store, to the next store. What you do not do, I would say, is don't be desperate. I made that mistake where I was desperate to continuously go with teams.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And as a result, because you were so fixated on trying to prove yourself on an international level that people actually shut you out, because that is not what your ability carries you. So I would say right now where I am and where people will come and approach me for help, I would say it's the ability that carried me and the people that supported me throughout my ups and downs as a mechanic.
Yeah.
Help. The athletes is the most important role in why I still continue as a mechanic and still help to manage, a small part of our cycling team. If nobody are appreciative and you'll just die down, the passion will just die down after a while, because you're not earning.
Yeah.
And athletes don't trust you. That's something that...
That's the worst.
Yeah, that will give you a confidence. So I think that was what happened to me on one of the years, where for a period of time, I just wasn't ranging well.
Yeah.
And I was so fixated.
Like any athlete, you're in form, you're out of form.
No, yeah, so it's like mechanics do have good years and bad days.
Yeah, of course.
And that's why athletes do have bounces, and athletes do, like Mark Cavendish, for example, he basically screw on his mechanic.
Yeah, I've seen the footage where he threw the bike.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So I would say at some point in time, one of the years, I would say 1 to 2 of the years during COVID, pre-COVID and during COVID, I was in quite a bad situation where I was just fixated about proving a point that I can do it. And those were unnecessary stress. Yeah. And as a result, I was so desperate to get opportunities to try, to push. And that kind of threw me off my game. But looking back today, I would say I'm thankful for everyone who stick through, including, being in the shop, as well as the athletes that still comes back to me. Yeah. That's something that you can't build overnight. It's definitely something that it takes time to...
It's word of mouth and when you start out, there's no mouth, right?
Yeah.
You have 5 people you help, and then hopefully those 5 people tell 2 people each, and goes 10 people, 20 people, 40 people, right?
And back then, I wasn't like a social media guy.
Yeah.
I totally hate social media.
That's right. Your Instagram was Alaric. Yeah, I don't know how many see.
So the reason why I changed to Alaric the mechanic was because people were saying that, that's so difficult to find on social media or tag on social media, and they were like, can you figure out a better name for it? So I mean, I've been ranching for quite some time, almost 9 years, almost close to a decade, really. And I would say, why not? I just put it as Alaric the mechanic.
Yeah, well, that's how everyone remembers, knows you.
Yeah, and I would say the PTO airtime, even though it's a 20-second airtime, all the athletes that were there didn't know that I was part of the official Pro Max, or I was helping out the Pro Max.
Like,
Yeah, and I think for that, I wouldn't say I'm a pro mechanic, because I'll still say I'm a freelance, because I'm not tagged to any proper official team for the season. No such of that. Like Mike and Anthony, like Mike is really with Uno X. That just came back from the Spring Classics.
Roubaix.
Yeah, Roubaix, and he had to drive from Roubaix back to Belgium in the service course. After that, he has to pack all his stuff, head to airport in London, and then fly over to Singapore, and just landed last night. Yeah, so it was quite an interesting talk with him about Ruby and all the other Spring Classic races that he was at. And he was literally sharing with me how the race were and all that. And it's really different when you meet up with mechanics that you look up, I would say you look up to, and it's of the same caliber that they are doing. Ultimately, I would say Singapore itself is very small to be even in races. Yeah. You definitely have to go overseas. So I would say right now, another up-and-coming mechanic, I would say, you can quote me on it, I would say Jonathan. John, if you're watching this, we should join it on a podcast. Jonathan,
what's his last name? What's his Instagram?
I can't remember on hand. Like, Jonathan is actually together with Elizabeth.
Okay.
So he's actually, people call him Abing.
Okay.
He's with the National Federation as a mechanic also.
Okay.
And he helps people like Ria and the Virgin Boys. I want to see him grow and
even better.
do even better. I feel that we need more people like him. And we need more people like me. And I wouldn't say that he's bad. He's quite humble. And he really tries his best to help athletes. Again, I really do hope the next generation of people step up. And for me, the end goal would be to join a pro team for at least one season. And then from there, try and see whether we make it or break it. And if it works, it works.
So, how do people get a hold of you? I think you just said it, Alaric the Mechanic, right? So Alaric the Mechanic. Right. Instagram is the best way.
You can always drop me a DM on IG. I do reply on IG, but I prefer not to be on a social media line. As usual, I always tell people that. And I think that's the gist of it.
Cool, man. Well, good luck. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks.
And I think I'm going to follow you back to the PTO's Village right now because I want to go and check out the expo, okay?
Sure.
So that'll be all for today.
Okay.